And, you can't be everything for everyone. So you need to know exactly who you are, and you might not, steer away from that. And so you will appeal not to everybody, but you need to be sure who you want to appeal to. And it's around creating that emotional connection and those meaningful relationship with people that are there for what you have to offer.
Hello, my name is Renae Leith-Manos. Welcome to this podcast, Where to From Here, featuring conversations about luxury travel and how it's changing in every pocket of the globe. Hello, my name is Renae Leith-Manos, and on this podcast, Where to From Here, we go around the world speaking to luxury hotel leaders. And today we're going to London to speak to Luca Virgilio, who's the general manager of the very prestigious Dorchester Hotel. The Dorchester is one of England's most popular and lauded hotels and a favourite with celebrities. In fact, I Googled this week which celebrities have stayed there this year, and 46 names came up, including Tom Cruise, Victoria Beckham, Kate Moss, the Kardashians, so many. But of course, historically, Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton stayed there. Michael Jackson was photographed there. It really is one of the most famous hotels in the world. Now, Luca was last on this podcast about 3 years ago when he was general manager of the Hotel Eden, which is also a Dorchester Collection property in Rome. And at that time, that property had also just been renovated. But Luca was given the keys to the Dorchester, I believe, in 2022, and it's just undergone its first major renovation in 30 years. Multi-millions of pounds have been spent just totally refurbishing the lobby, the rooms, giving the restaurants a complete overhaul. And Luca is the one who is now, running the show and has the keys to the hotel. I was visited the Dorchester about 6 months ago, and it is striking. The chandelier in the entrance is unbelievable, as are the flowers. They're just massively oversized and beautiful. There are marble floors. There's the most incredible artwork, modern, and the feel is very much like an English garden. And one of the highlights for me is that Liberace's glass piano is sitting in the lobby. This really is a beautiful luxury hotel and a renovation that has to be seen to be believed. But Luca, without further ado, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Renee. I'm very excited to be on your show once again.
Yeah, it's really, you're the only person who's been on a second time so far.
Oh, I'm honored. Thank you.
Thank you. So how did you end up, because, at the Dorchester, because last time we spoke, you were very ensconced in Hotel Eden. You are Italian. You love Rome. So talk us through the steps that have, landed you where you're sitting right now talking to us.
Well, exactly. I mean, I was in a very happy place. The Hotel Eden,
Yeah.
I loved it. I put my heart and soul into it. And I feel with my team, we did a great job with the renovation, the relaunch, the repositioning. And, but, knowing myself, I know that in a few years' time, I would have been ready for a new challenge. And maybe the few years' time was sooner than expected, because one day I received a call from my CEO and said, Luca, I wanted to have a conversation with you, and are you ready for the next big step? And I said, oh my God, what is it? And he said, it's the Dorchester in London. And, he said, so what do you think about it? I said, well, and it was a video call like this one. And I said, well, to be honest with you, I don't think there's a lot I need to think about, but I would need to have a conversation with my wife because, we're moving the family,
Yes.
we're moving everything. And so I said, allow me some time to do so. And my wife was traveling at the time. She was in the US on a business trip. So I had a call with her and said, Amore, and, I had a call and I was offered the Dorchester. What do you think? And it's not, she said, oh my God, let me get back home and let's discuss about it. She said, Luca, it's the Dorchester. What do you want me to say? And that was it. So it was a very easy and quick decision. And, for me, it's an honor to be at the helm of this, legendary hotel. And once again, bring it forward to a new chapter of its very illustrious life. Yeah.
Absolutely. But this is not your first time in London because you're at the Baglioni. Just talk us through that part of your career because you've done this before, the Italy UK transfer.
Yes, I mean, actually, this is my fourth time in London. I did it. I started my career soon after hotel schools from Switzerland, so I was here in my 20s. Then I left. I came back in my 30s. Then I left. I came back in my 40s. As you say, managing the Baglioni Hotel in London, opening that hotel, and then I left and back in my 50s. So there's always a reason to come back, I guess. But London has always been a city that, for me, for hospitality, has been at the forefront. The dynamics of the city and the energy of the city. And again, it's a city that gave me something so different in my 20s, in my 30s, in my 40s, and now in my 50s. And I relate to the people that come and visit this city. There's something for everyone. It's a city that keeps on evolving, keeps on doing. So I feel, yeah, my time at the Baglioni was so much fun. I opened that hotel in early 2000, and I think we did a pretty good job. Then I left. I went to Monte Carlo to manage the Metropole in Monte Carlo. That was in 2008. I was in my late 30s. I was there for a couple of years. Then Baglioni called me again. So I came as a let's say, area manager. I was looking at a property in London and one in Rome. I was there for 4 years, and then yeah, the call came from the Dorchester. They just acquired the Hotel Eden, and I was approached by them. Being Roman, they wanted to make sure they had somebody Italian, but with an international experience. And yeah, so for me, all the stars was aligned, and I was very happy to accept that role. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I really love working for this company. I think it's really, everything is for the long term. We own outright every single one of our property, so everything we do for this long term.
Yes.
And of course, now we are into managing properties as well. But it's a great. We have iconic hotels, legendary hotels across the whole collection,
Yes.
and we like to be at the very top tier of luxury hospitality, and that's a spot that we're very conscious as being in, and yeah, working hard every day to make sure that we stay up there.
Absolutely. And I would say, I mean, the Dorchester, even just because of the name, is really, probably number one in the collection. I know the Lana has just opened in the Middle East and looks absolutely incredible, but the Dorchester is the Dorchester.
Yeah, it's the hotel that carries the name of the whole company. So
Yes.
so there's a lot of responsibility on these shoulders. But again, I am given wonderful means to express ourselves, and as you said, it's the most important renovation since the 80s. So we have invested heavily, and for us, it's not just a renovation; it's a rebranding, a repositioning of an hotel that. Has made history in hospitality worldwide and history for London as well. It's always been an hotel. It's been the London address for the people that make the world turn. Whether it was, it was royalty, artists, literati, businessmen, businesswomen. You could, I like to say, we're a piece of the Union Jack. We are embedded with London and we're embedded with this country. Our history is just incredible.
And talk me through the Vesper Bar because you kindly invited me to have a drink there when I was last in London, and it's absolutely beautiful. By the way, I really enjoyed spending time in the lobby of the hotel. But the Vesper Bar has drinks named after people who stayed in the hotel. Just talk me through the concept because it's very unique, and it does for me bring together very much the history of the women, the famous women that have stayed in and loved the Dorchester.
Yeah. So let's say, like everything, I think one thing that nobody can take away from us, and no matter, it's our history. It's
Yes.
legendary. And as you said at the opening, we really have been very lucky. Great people have inhabited this hotel, or normal people, but let's say, and so we wanted to make sure we acknowledged and we kind of honored the wonderful guests that have stayed in this hotel. And one way was, when we were thinking of a name of a new bar, I said, what can bring us back to those glamorous times, or
Yes.
something which is timeless, but it still has a bit of, it's a bit captivating, is a bit vibrant. And who doesn't like James Bond, So we thought, let's give tribute to our, let's say, our link, yeah,
Yeah.
our relationship with James Bond, that is multifaceted, because let's say the Broccoli family, used to come here. Ian Fleming, who wrote, was a guest of us. And when the offices of the Broccoli family, that are not too far away from here, were being renovated, they set up the temporary office for almost a year here. Every single James Bond actor stayed at the hotel. I don't know, more than 17 of the Bond girls, 7 or 8 villains. So the history, there was many reasons why. And
Right.
as you may know, Vesper was, the drink, the Vesper Martini was, let's say, spoken of in one of the first Bond movies, and we said, we're a bar, we love martini, so let's give it that name. And yeah, it's a very popular spot. We're very lucky, and it's about, I'm saying, it's about bringing those glamorous years that, James Bond, like James Bond, that has evolved the character of James Bond
Yes.
across the years, from where it was now, and once upon a time, the way it was now. We kind of have gone through the same evolution. Or like London, London is a city that is very steeped in history, but always looks at the future. London is so dynamic, but proud of its tradition. And
Yes.
that's what we are. We are very proud of our tradition, but we like to look forward. And this renovation, rebranding, repositioning is about telling a new story, a new chapter in a story.
How fantastic. And tell me, how do you start the process of renovating the Dorchester? I mean, just talk me through the process of how you find the right people, how you sit down and do the drawings, because it's a very delicate operation, right? It's something you don't want to get wrong.
No, so exactly, it's about really understanding and feeling the responsibility. So it starts with a brief, like everything. It's like, what do you want to make sure? And having owned and managed this hotel across many years, is also understanding what made it magic, and maybe what were the shortcomings, and so making sure that that is part of the brief, and then go and speak to the best of the best that is out there. So for us, it was never a question of shortchanging ourselves. We really wanted to go and speak to some of the most amazing interior designers that were there. And for us, Pierre-Yves Rochon, it's one of the best ones for palace hotels. But what was important for us, it was to work with somebody that was humble enough to put themselves, you know, below the hotel, and making sure that they were serving the hotel and they were not putting their stamp on the hotel.
I have to stop you there because that is really intriguing and I totally understand because so many designers, it's about putting their own name in lights and wowing with, oh my gosh, look at this incredible innovation. But that's not the style of the Dorchester.
Exactly. So, and what Pierre-Yves did, and then also we worked with Martin Budinsky for the Vesper Bar, because we wanted a different vibe. We wanted to have a bit more, let's say, it was a bit more of a, let's say, a bit more captivating, a bit more sexy. But that's a bar. The rest had to be a palace hotel.
Luca, what is your favorite part of the new hotel?
I mean, I'm in love with every single space, but if I need to choose one, if I'm forced to choose one, I would say is the Promenade. The Promenade
Yes.
is, it's as soon as you enter the doors, of course, you have the beautiful entrance hallway, the high ceiling, the chandelier that you spoke about, and then you have this view and this beautiful long
Oh,
promenade, which is as long as the Nelson column. It's really, it's
yes.
massive for an hotel, and it's, as you say, it's the flowers, it's the decor, it's the artist bar at the end that really draws into and calls you to it. and it's really the heart and soul of the hotel, because that's the buzz center and that's the nerve center, because from there you can turn right, you go to our grill room by Tom Booton, whom you've spoken to. He's a very talented chef. And then you go to the left, you have Vesper Bar. You go in the middle, then you have a three Michelin star by Alain Ducasse. Then you go further down, you have China Tang, a very famous Cantonese restaurant. And then you continue, and then you go to a but so it's like it's the nerves, it's the heart and soul of the hotel, and it's bustling. Breakfast, lunch, afternoon tea, dinner, evening. It's just full of energy, and it's wonderful for people watching. So I
It's
think you should.
magical. I just
Yeah.
find it magical. And I wanted to ask you about the artwork because when I was there, I spent quite I'm not really into art, but having been to the new lobby at the Dorchester, I think I might be now because I just was mesmerized because there's all the I mean, right at the entrance you have these artworks with particularly gold, and then you go inside, they're all very different. They're all very different in style. They're all very different artists, but somehow they work together. So how did you get this collection together to feature in the lobby?
No, exactly. So for us, as you said, the inspiration of the promenade was like, you walk on an English garden on a beautiful summer's day. So the color scheme is very
Wow.
light, very bright, very pastel. And we wanted to make sure that the artwork complemented that. So we basically worked with the 18 different British artists, and let's say the mandate was to represent Mother Nature, but for each one of them
Yes.
was using their own style and their own creativity, and so we chose, whether it was through texture, whether it was through fabrics, whether it was through different techniques. Everybody's so different and so eclectically different, and as you say, when you put them all together, that is what brings the vibrancy and the energy and the modernity to that promenade, which otherwise has remained quite classic, because we are a classic hotel. So we created that contrast through the artwork, and it plays a very, very important role. And the same is when you go into our lobby area. On one side, above the concierge, we have this beautiful piece of art which represent Hyde Park and the Serpentine Gallery, which is very classic. And then on the other side we have this modern um, piece of art, which is a honeycomb in old gold leaf, which is, of course, it's let's say a modern interpretation of Mother Nature, because it's quite eclectic. So it's how you create that contrast and how you bring, you know, classic towards modernity, and create that vibrancy and that different feel. And I think
No,
art
it's
has
amazing.
played a big role. And this is also repeated in our floors, in our rooms and bedrooms and corridors. So you will always find this eclecticity with different art pieces, some using classic techniques and some using contemporary techniques. Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, I'm in love with it. It's absolutely beautiful. And look, there's never been a more competitive time in the luxury hotel industry in London. I mean, I've lost count. I think there's been 9 5-star hotels open in the last 2 years. And, some of the biggest brands and quite spectacular. How do you maintain your point of difference? And I also want to ask you about collaborations because I know that they're a big, big buzzword for luxury hotels now.
Yes. So, as I said, the point of difference, I mean, we're lucky enough. We are established. We have a history. So how do we tell our story in modern language? So, a bit what we spoke about is about through the people that have inhabited this hotel, and how you, recreate that mystique, whether it's through the Vesper Bar, whether it's through
Yes,
the Artist Bar. And, so that nobody can take away that from us. We own that,
yes.
so no matter who comes, that belongs to us. So it's just, how do you retell the story? And then, for us, what is important, it's, is to recreate a space that really is reflective of the city, a place that lives and where you can live and breathe the energy and spirit of London, and we are London. So it's through, I think, different offerings, across the hotel. We have several restaurants, several bars, different cuisine, different appeals, a bit for everybody. So in one bar we have the DJ in the evening, so you have one different buzz. In the other bar you have piano playing and singers. So you want, depending what evening you have plenty of flavors. And then in Chinatown we have a bar that is like stepping back in time in colonial Hong Kong. So it's about
Beautiful.
being able to offer the multitude of things that London has to offer. And then, the last part, but that is still yet to come, we'll have in a rooftop, we will have another restaurant and another bar. And that will be more around Mediterranean. We have beautiful views across London, City Line and the park. And that will make it for guests only, and it will be a members club. And another thing that to me is very important is around being in a place where you share the same values. So I
Yes.
think more and more, for people traveling, they need to believe, have the same values that you offer as an organization, as people. We are in the people industry, so it's all about that emotional connection. So it's creating that
Yes.
environment, that culture where you can connect to your guests. And you can't be everything for everyone, so you need to know exactly who you are, and you might not steer away from that. And so you will appeal not to everybody, but you need to be sure who you want to appeal to. And it's around creating that emotional connection and those meaningful relationship with people that are there for what you have to offer. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Now, tell me a bit more about the members club. Is that going to be a global Dorchester Collection thing, or?
So I think this is the first that we're doing here. And then there's no reason why we could not then expand it somewhere else. But, because we already have a lot to offer, we have already
Yes.
4 restaurants and 4 bars. We wanted to create a fifth space, but then we said, how do we make it even more exclusive? And we want to keep protected for our guests that stay in our hotel, and then we want to make it, let's say, a little bit more, let's say, because it's quite special and it won't be that big. So we want to make sure that we create that safe haven for our guests, because the hotel is busy. So wherever you go, you will find a million people. And so we want to create a space where you can say, no, I need to make a phone call, I need to relax, I need to be with my, and then they would have that. And then we can then really curate the rest of the people that will be allowed up there, and we'll create an even more exclusive environment for all the guests that decide to come and visit us. Yeah. And what makes it unique is we will be on the rooftop. And I come from the Hotel Eden in Rome, so I know what having a beautiful
Yes.
rooftop space means. Views,
Yes.
open air, and we're lucky. We're facing Hyde Park, so we will never have
Yes.
a building in front of us. That's for sure.
No, absolutely. And will celebrities be up there? Is that what you're anticipating as well? High profile guests?
Is let's say high profile, but we're not going for that. It's more around
No.
like-minded people, creating that eclectic mix that works well together. It's not like, oh, you want to have the young,
Yes.
or you want to have the old. You need to find those people that believe in the same things, enjoy the same things, and that's when you create the magic. It is not about age, it's not
Yes.
about geographic. It's not about what you do or what you don't do. It's about what you enjoy in life, and it's trying to create a wonderful space for those guests. Yeah. And there
Oh,
will be live
brilliant.
entertainment. It will be fun. But I can't
Sounds
say too
like it.
much because it's still, I mean, the design is done, the works are happening, but we're just tying it all up together. But for sure it would be very, very special. Yeah.
When do you hope to open? Club?
Q1 of 26. Yeah.
Fantastic.
And that will be the
Wow,
cherry
that's
on the
exciting.
cake because it will be actually at the top of the hotel. So then I'm done. We're good. Yeah.
You're never done. Luca, what are you talking about?
I know. Then on to the next challenge, right? But no, but that's what's fun about what we do. It's never ending, and
Yes,
it's fun. That's what attracts me.
yes,
Hospitality in general. I think it's an amazing business. You meet interesting people. You work with interesting people. You learn from one another, and the energy that you get from that is amazing. So yeah, we're blessed. Yeah.
yeah. No, it's wonderful. And can you share some of your insider top 5 favorite places to eat in London? I'm just intrigued because you know London probably better than most.
Yeah, so let's say it's you have your classics, so it depends where you so okay, for me I love, it's timeless. I love Scots. It's around the corner from me, and it's been there forever, but
Beautiful.
it's just magic. Um
I like sitting at the
I
bar. I like sitting at the bar there.
yeah. And then Wiltons, you have your classics that you go to, but now we're more about, me and my wife, we're more about discovering new spaces. So uh, there's a great place we've been a few weeks ago, which is called Strakers, and it's in Ladbroke Grove, but fun. Service is great. Food is phenomenal. But it's downplay. It's no, you don't need to be like this. But the crowd is great crowd. I love Gold in Notting Hill, with on Portobello Road, Dorian, and now we're going this to no day after tomorrow. We're going to this place that is quite amazing. It's called the Supermarket of Dreams. But now every Saturday, it's in Holland Park, and every Saturday there is this. Now it's become, I don't know how you call it, not a tradition, but whatever. So basically, they bring this whole tuna. It's called the Tuna Fight Club. So they bring a whole tuna, and they basically cut it in front of you, and they slice it in front of you, and it's all tuna, sashimi. It's all around, sashimi, sushi, but it's basically, you see the whole fish, and then it just happens all in front of you, and is super sought after. I booked it. I tried to book it a month and a half ago, and they were already sold out. But then, through connections, you always find a way. And yeah, so I'm very curious to go, because it is not a massive place, but it sounds very much fun, and that's what is amazing about this city.
No, it's constantly evolving. I love it. I love it. And tell me, you've done so much with your career. It's pretty breathtaking when you stop and sort of get a helicopter view of Luca Virgilio and everything that you've done. What would you say is your biggest achievement so far?
Hasn't come yet. I'm joking. I was.
I love that. I love
Uh, yeah, no. Meaning, I mean, I sometimes, you need to stop and look, but I think, um, I never feel, on a personal note. I feel I am a very humble person. I'm here to serve, and I'm whatever hotel I manage. I'm here to serve the hotel, and I never, and with all the lovely people that are around me. So I never feel, sometimes you need to look back and say, I should stop and say, we've done a great job. All of us, we've done this, we've done that. But I'm the type of guy that always looks in front. And I'm not saying it's never enough, but I always feel there's something more I can do. So, um, what I'm proud of, I'm very proud. I mean, I'm very proud of every single things that I've done, and I think it's what is lovely is that, we live in one life, so many different lives. Every hotel that we manage or we work in, it's a different life. It's a different city. It's a different something, and but everyone, it makes a piece of you, and so I can't choose a favorite piece of myself. It's yeah.
it. Yes.
So it's an
Yeah. It's
ongoing journey.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. And you speak so well. It's wonderful connecting again. So, look, we ask all of our guests, as you know, where to from here? And you can talk us through what you're going to do tonight or tomorrow, your next holiday, your next project, whatever it is. Where to from here for you, Luca?
Okay, from here, I'm gonna go home and be with my family. And then and I mean, and because I don't see much of them, because this hotel is a beast, but it's an amazing hotel.
Yes,
It's lovely and I enjoy it. So, and London is such a
yes.
city which is so socially engaging. So so tonight, family. Now the next thing I'm looking forward to, it's in February. I'm going to Dubai. Going to stay at the Lana. So finally, I'm going to see it and enjoy it, because all I hear is amazing, amazing things from guests that go there, from my colleagues that have been visiting there. So I am like in awe from everything that I hear, and I really want to go and see it and enjoy it. And then I'm going to spend 3 days after that. We're going to go to Oman, just to be in the middle of nowhere. So that I am also very curious. It's a part of the world that I'm not very familiar with. So I'm curious about discovering that part. And then God knows what, so much more ahead. Yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing as a hotelier, having been to so many places, that you're still curious and you still love traveling.
Yeah, no, I have to say, and my wife, I'm lucky because my wife is even more than me. So there you go. We really
Wonderful.
inspire one another, and we always want to find. Sometimes I like, I'm a creature of habit. I need to have my habits,
Yeah.
but then I need to go out and see more. My wife is even more. She's American, so it's all about discovery. But yeah.
Does she work in travel, in
Yeah,
hospitality?
she owns. She has her own company, but she does more around luxury experiences, B2B. So yeah, yeah. So
Perfect.
she's a very busy and successful woman in her own right. So, but that's what unites us is travel, this love and passion. So we
Yes.
really do understand each
Yes.
other. We're enjoying it all.
You have a blessed life. You've created such a wonderful life, and certainly such an incredible hotel. And I hope to see you there again when I'm there soon. And I'm dying to stay there in the new rooms, because I know they're pretty much finished now. But
And we'll have a
congratulations on
martini
all of
on
your
the
achievements.
rooftop when we open, Renee. Yeah,
Absolutely. I'll be there.
thank you.
Thank you, Luca. Have a lovely evening, and see you soon.
See you soon. Thank you very much. Bye
Take
bye
care.
from
Ciao, ciao.
London. Ciao. A presto. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Don't forget to subscribe here and follow us on Instagram and Facebook for regular travel updates. You can also hear our episodes on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.